Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video on my channel, Makes Movies. If you are new to this channel, this is basically where I talk to you guys about my passion for movies. This goes from collections, hauls, reviews, and to today's video, so let's get into it. Okay, so like I said before in a couple of previous videos, I need to catch up on my 2024 movie reviews. So of course you're getting one today, because if you've watched my subscriber mail reviews that I did today, I did mention that I was going to see Madam Web in the cinema today. I was originally going to do a trip to the movies vlog, but for one thing, the footage I did do wasn't very great. And for another thing, I feel like trying to do the reviews and the vlogs at the same time is part of the reason why I didn't do so well last year with my reviews for the movies that came out last year. So I'm going to start by just getting more into the rhythm of doing these reviews, and then maybe sort of like halfway through the year, maybe see how I feel, then I might bring that back. But it's a series I do enjoy doing, so that might eventually come back. But yes, so today I went to go and see Madam Web. So let's get into my thoughts on Madam Web. Okay, so just to give you a very basic plot summary, we are following this character called Cassie. She's this paramedic, I cannot speak, who ends up getting these powers where she can see the future, and she ends up having to try and protect these three girls from this very bad man. I'm not going to say any more than that because I don't want to spoil the movie or anything like that. I'm going to try and stay as spoiler-free as possible. And like I say on my channel, I try not to spoil things. And I feel like if I was to talk any more about this film, plot-wise, might spoil it. So yeah, so that's basically the plot summary of it. It's just like the basic. So I went into this film. I'd watched the trailer once when it came out. So I didn't really go on much apart from I had heard from a lot of people it wasn't very good. And that's the thing I've noticed with the Sony Spider-Verse movies, so that's the Venom movies and the Morbius, is that a lot of people don't seem to be enjoying those films as much as they should be. I mean, Morbius got a massive, like, it was bad for some people, and things like Venom, people enjoyed Venom, but then when it came to Let There Be Carnage, not a lot of people enjoyed that one. So I feel like the Sony Spider-Verse movie is not up to a great start, and it's a bit concerning because the annoying thing is that with each film, in my eyes, there's something good there, but they're just not hitting it out of the park. They're just doing things differently, throwing things off. So it's sort of like there's good plot points, some of the characters are good, but at the same time, it's just Sony's not hitting the mark. So when I went into Madam Web, I kind of went in there knowing full well that not a lot of people didn't enjoy this film. So that's one of the things that played in the back of my mind was, am I going to enjoy this film? Not going to lie, it did take me a bit of time to get into it, but it was okay. Like, it wasn't brilliant, but it was okay. I did get some enjoyment out of it. Whether that's because I sort of like had the whole cinema to myself, that was another thing. It was just me. But like I said, I struggled to get into it at first. Maybe it's because of our main actress, Dakota Johnson. I only know her from the 50 Shades of Grey film, and honestly, she was someone that annoyed me in that. She didn't annoy me too much in this, but I can't get behind her as an actress. I don't know why. Maybe there's some other things she's been in that I might enjoy a bit more, but the two films, well, the film franchise and this film that I've seen of hers, I don't know what it is. She seemed to sort of like have this one expression, if you catch my drift. So maybe that's why I struggled to get into it at first. But you know what? As soon as it got into more with the her finally getting her powers and sort of like her seeing these visions and things like that, I think once that started, I then got into it a little bit more. Still just an okay movie. Like, I have seen a lot worse. Son of the Mask. But at least with this, although it wasn't great, it wasn't terrible either. And honestly, I did like some of the action scenes in this, especially during the last half of the film. That was pretty good. I will say the visions thing did confuse me to start with, because they were hopping back and forth quite a lot, and it's sort of like kind of got a bit confusing as to what was reality and what wasn't. Now, when something like that happens, it does concern me, because I then think, well, is this now just another vision, or is this actually something that's happening right there and then? But when she starts to develop her powers a bit more, it does come across better. But I think how they handled it, they could have done a better job with the whole vision side of things. I felt like the opening was a bit boring, not gonna lie. But like I said, it's not absolutely terrible. Like I said, I've seen worse, Son of the Mask. So for me, I get why it got a lot of bad rep, just because I think it's mainly due to the actress, I think, because there was some really good actors in this as well. There was the guy from Parks and Rec, I can't remember his name, but he played Ben. Another thing as well is that I know there was news stories of the fact of they had to cut a lot of the Peter Parker references, and you can actually see where they cut that because of the Ben and Mary character in this. So you can see where things should have been but then didn't happen, because obviously they cut it, which I get why they did that, but at the same time it does throw you off the film a little bit, because you're then thinking, oh, what's the next bit going to be? So yeah, it wasn't terrible. I'm still debating whether I prefer this over Morbius. I'm not sure. I'm still sort of like debating. I will be doing a ranking of the Spider-Verse films. So that's obviously the 2 Venom films, Morbius and Madam Web. But yeah, like I said, for me, this was just very middle of the road. One of those ones where it was, I saw it in the cinema, but I used my membership, so technically it's not like I've really paid for it. And it's one of those things where if I hadn't seen it in the cinema, I think personally I probably would have waited until it was like £4.99 to rent on Amazon Prime, or when they were doing the £1.99 deal. It's one of those films that I don't know if I would add it to my collection. I might give it another watch again at some point. Like I said, maybe when it does come to Amazon Prime at that cheap rate, might watch it again just to see if maybe it's better on a second watch. But honestly, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. Like I said, it was one of those things that this was a spontaneous trip. Madam Web was one of the films that I wanted to see this year. So I thought, why not go? Because I'm having a personal day, really. Sort of like having a day to myself, where I'm sort of like watching films, getting videos done, things like that. So I thought, why not go see Madam Web? The ending, I'm not sure how I feel about the ending. I didn't stick around to see if there was any end credit scenes. I'm fairly certain they said they cut them anyway. But overall, like I said, not terrible, but not great either. Like I said, I'll give it another watch, but I reckon if I feel the same when I next watch it, I'm not sure when I return to it. It'll probably be a while before I return to it again, if that's the case. But for a cinema trip, it weren't that bad. Like I said, I have a membership again now, so it's sort of like don't really pay for it, really, in a sense. So yeah, Madam Web, my final score for this, I'm going to give it a dead 5 out of 10. So it's very much in the middle of the road for me. And I can't wait to rewatch Morbius and just see where I'd put the two. But yeah, so Madam Web, not great, but not terrible either. One of those weird things where it's in the middle. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this review of Madam Web. Like I said, I'm going to try and catch up on my 2024 movie reviews. I'm going to try and space them out because I was originally going to watch one 2024 film a day and then post reviews up. But I think I'm just going to go with the flow and just sort of like whenever I'm feeling like watching a new film from this year, I'll watch it and then review it. So this was one of those things. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, then do give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to this channel, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button and also notification bell down below to be notified when I post. And also leave me your comments and thoughts on this film. Are you like me, who's very middle of the road with it? Or were you one of the ones that didn't like it? If not, let me know your reason down below. And I'll see you guys next time.